Good evening, Vanners. This is an update on the Boogie Van project. Here's the floor after all the rust removal. It went really well. There was a boatload of spot welds that needed to be cleaned up. Just a little bit more to do under this lip right here, and we should be good to go. I'm going to put a piece of sheet metal in between the floor and the patch panel, so this area here will have a little bit of support for the replacement panel that will be going over top of it. And it was like that from the factory. It had just a strip of sheet metal, and it's all rotted away, but it's now clean, cut back to clean steel, and we can move forward with the cleaning of the ugly sheet metal that you see here with sandblasting, wire wheels, all that fun stuff. Rust never sleeps, but we're going to slow it down. But yeah, this is the outer edge of the frame, and you can see the inside of it. You got LED lights here, it's probably fighting the camera. But it's clean inside, not a problem at all. So yeah, it's just a matter of getting all the loose scaly rust off, sandblasts, get it down to bare metal and treat it, and we'll get a patch panel made up and go from there. That way we can we'll have a nice solid foundation to start with, and we can get onto the exterior sheet metal, the superficial sheet metal that doesn't hold any support, but this needed to be done first. Another thing that I've realized here is this thing was overloaded at some point, or I know it had been in a collision, because when we removed the sheet metal around this the leaf spring hanger here, it basically sprung, and I've got the van all supported up, and I had to weld a brace under there to make sure that it didn't spring, but when I started cutting into it, it started shrinking onto the blade and onto the cutting wheel. So it has been in an accident, and I've put straight edges on everything, and everything's okay. It's just the floor did not look right, and this gives us the opportunity to repair it properly. It was never pulled out straight, and after I've braced it all up underneath, it should be just fine. There's jack stands all over. The differential's not hanging by the frame at all. It's being supported, and then the frame itself supported, so there's no weight on the frame at all. The frame is a unibody in this vehicle. But yeah, I was kind of expecting something like that to happen, noting in the previous videos where the severe rust issues were. Anytime that there is collision damage, that's where rust will occur. It's just the natural phenomenon. You can look at old shipwrecks, and anywhere where collisions happen with a shipwreck or buckles or anywhere that's been compromised, that's where the corrosion starts, and it just takes off. And this is kind of one of those areas. Along these two rails, there was some rust holes forming, not only because of the fact that sand and salt and stuff like that packed in there, but it had been hit in the back corner here, and all of that area was jostled when it happened. So it's a good time to fix it. That rear panel that's painted red oxide had the same kind of an issue, and I noticed that it's pretty severe when you look at it from the back, facing forward this way. You could actually see a lift in the panel itself, almost like it had been accordioned. But if you took a tape measure and measure from a known source like this rib here, it all equals the same amount. Plus the wheelhouse itself is very flimsy. It's heavy sheet metal, but you can move it around, so you can make up for that space along with a patch panel. Even though you cut it straight, that might be wavy. That's what you have a hammer for, and that's what you have a welder for. We'll make this happen. This is going to go fairly straightforward. This is going to be a fairly quick and easy patch to make. The back patch was pretty complicated. I never did any video on it, but it was all integrated along with the spring pack. But I doubled up the sheet metal like it was from the factory, and it's all seam sealed underneath, unlike the factory didn't do, which caused that rust issue. Maybe that was why it was causing it to sag in the back, but I'm willing to bet that it was the collision damage. You can kind of see in the rear corner, sorry about the lighting, but in the rear corner you can see where it's been disturbed by being hit in the bum or backing into something at some point. And that's kind of jostled the whole shittery back here. But it'll be fixed correctly, and it'll outlive me. And because of where I'm going to be storing it and the way it's going to be stored. Focus. But anyways, my camera's not focusing. It is what it is. I'm going to shut up and carry on. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.